Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs from GundamReviews.net, and episode 20 of Gundam Age, the second generation, is flying along. The ZSR is about to be replaced by something a lot more fierce, as you probably saw in the episode. Things are moving along with the characters and the battles, and most importantly, we got to see a whole bunch of great mobile suit action. On to my of the weeks, where with character to kick things off, Zeehard Gallet certainly had a good episode in terms of developing his role as commander and setting up a plan, hopefully a long ball game where the Vegans are actually going to realize that if the Gundam is the only thing that's standing in between them, how they're going to go about dealing with that. But even better than Zeehard in his interactions with Asum, which were certainly the climax of the episode, was the reappearance of Dezel, the antagonist from the first arc. It was great to see him and his jealousy, both of his brothers surpassing him in terms of rank, and also his burning hatred for Flit, and the fact that we've still got, 75 more years in this generation? To see the way that Dezel is going to be interacting, especially once he gets his own custom mobile suit this generation, with Zeehard, and more importantly, how Flit comes into the battle. I can't wait to see the interactions between the four of them, so I'm going to say Character of the Week, Dezel, and I can't wait to see more of that guy because he looks like he has a lot of issues that are all going to come out on the battlefield, which is something that's only good for fans watching. For Mobile Suit of the Week, I've got to give a couple honorable mentions. The G-Bouncer and the H2 both fared well out there, especially when Asum was dual wielding, and it's just great to see the Wolf team launching out of the ship and the whole team getting ready to go, and the way he obviously cares about his subordinates, and of course Asum in the H2 using the Zeta transformation kind of thing to full advantage as he chased after what is going to prove to be the Mobile Suit of the Week. But my real honorable mention for MS of the Week has to go to the ZSR, which Bandai and Sunrise obviously decided to send off with style, as we got to see minutes and minutes of old school video game footage, it looked like, as he's blasting through an asteroid field, pushing it to its limit. Things are falling off all over the place, and even that, despite the fact that it's in Beijing duck mode throughout. So anyway, the ZSR, certainly if I hadn't picked it up, I would almost want to this episode, and I wonder if anybody else is going to be getting this as a hand-me-down. But the Mobile Suit of the Week has to go to the one that I can't show you in plastic model form yet, the Zedora. So certainly because I haven't picked it up yet, it's one that is now at the top of my list. I was watching with somebody who's never seen an episode of Age before, and they were impressed. It had lots of build-up leading into it, and the mobile suit battles between the two of them. They must have spent a lot of money on the animation because this episode did not have a lot of character development. Instead, it was just straight to the fights and not a lot of focus on the Wolf team after they got their launch sequence, as they were off fighting with the triple domes and stuff like that. Basically, it was all Zedora. It makes sense that after a quarter century, it's going to have a lot of new technology, and Zeehard pushed it to the limit. And even though they were both dual wielding, Asum was sent to school, and combined, the best scene of the week has to be when the Zedora had him dead to rights. And everything flashed, and actually for a moment as a viewer I had a will they or won't they? Could we be starting the third generation already? And of course when you think about it, the answer is going to be no. But certainly a great way to send a message that this new custom and very Meidatsu red mobile suit is going to be making an impact for the rest of this generation, and Asum is going to end up Amuro style crying away in his room, well, not quite crying. But basically, the best scene, certainly this one, with a little bit of bonus afterwards, as a very jealous Dezel welcomes back the Soshirei-kan, and he basically says to him that they are certainly going to be having an interesting relationship from here on in, and how he saved his friend and how he knows it, and I can't wait to see how these two go along. So besides the fantastic battle, I've got to say the reaction between these two Gallet brothers was the highlight of the episode for me. Now for some other random thoughts about the episode, there was a lot of cool things, including seeing 3 purple Dorados going at everybody. So yes, that really was reminding me of the Triple Dome. We got to see a whole bunch of ships which just take us all the way back to 0079. And yet at the same time, we also get to see a lot of things changing, and yet how much they stay the same. Amuro, how many times was he holed up in his cabin, and then who came to see him? We ended up having Asum doing that at the end of the episode, but things have changed, and I'd imagine there's a lot of old school fans who are saying, yes, Bright would have walked in and slapped him, if not Wolf himself, but instead, we have Wolf saying that no, a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do and be alone sometimes, and holding off the malaise or potential malaise slap, as we just get to see how much things have changed perhaps over the last 30 years. But things haven't quite changed because there was no Bright slap, but there was an ass slap along the way, which was certainly a little bit of humor. Overall, I thought the episode, while it didn't have a lot of character development, certainly set things up really, really well with the Vegans. They were the focus of pretty much everything before the break. And we're going to get to see how the two of them are going to deal with each other. Blue-haired guy really isn't emerging as a very strong character. I wonder, people were speculating if he's connected to Grodek from the first generation, and I'm wondering myself, But basically, who can really complain when we get a whole bunch of battles where the big bad totally wins and Asim is going to be on the ropes, and we'll have to see how this is going to affect him from here on in psychologically, and whether Zahard will ever have the guts to make that big slice if he has to, considering how he warned him not to show up in front of him ever again. So those are just some of my thoughts late Sunday night on this episode, and it was really cool. I really had to laugh though at one thing where they all of a sudden decided to explain why Char needs a mask. Can they not just say, hey, this is the lead bad guy, we're making him the lead guy? So of course he gets a red mobile suit and he gets a mask. There's no need to Star Wars midichlorian that up, I thought. Overall, why don't you let me know what you thought of the episode? I thought it was great for a change of pace compared to some of the slowness that we've had in the school days. Things are really heating up, and I wonder if Flit is going to come into things. I've still been waiting for him to show up, maybe quite a while, and I wonder, with Dezo's reemergence, whether that's going to play out in the second generation or the third. Remember, we've got Cold Sleep, as they keep bringing up, so that people can certainly last through this 100 years, and it may not be wrapping up all in this second generation. Anyway, everybody, Robert184, thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think with a comment down below, and I'll see you again next week for episode 21 of Gundam Age, second generation. See you next time, everybody. Okay, it's time you can move your hand now.